Hey folks, Randy Gold here, Trout Magnet Man. We're going to do a review of the Trout Magnet 2 spinning rods. Of course, they have three. They have the Sollux Series, the Trout Slayer Series, and the Trinity Rod Series. I don't have a Trinity rod with me. I have used it. But this review today is going to focus on the Sollux Series that sells for $34.95. and the Trout Slayer Series that sells for $49.95. And I'm going to point out to you why both of these rods were designed and are great for twitching the trout magnet for trout. Now, obviously they can catch other species just as well, but these were specifically designed to have a fast tip to catch trout with a soft plastic, in this case, the Trout Magnet 1/64 ounce jig. First rod we're going to look at is the Sollux Series. This rod is rated from 1/64 to 1/8 ounce, 2 to 6 pound test line. It's 6 foot 6 inches in length. Now, I have used this rod years ago. I used this rod for several years running. I caught thousands of fish with this rod, thousands. I think when I was fishing with it, it cost considerable less. Of course, that's been 10 years ago. This rod, I think it's advertised as IM6 graphite, which is just an industry trade name. What that means is IM6 graphite has more than, say, IM4 or IM3 graphite. It doesn't really mean that much, except that IM6 is probably somewhere middle of the road in graphite content. The rest of the content is going to be resin. It doesn't have an extremely high graphite content. This rod weighs 4 1/8 ounce. Now, this rod is a very robust rod. When I was fishing with this rod, I not only caught a lot of trout with this rod, I caught a lot of white bass, a lot of bluegill. I mean a lot of bluegill. The sensitivity on this rod is good. It casts good. They're just generic guide frames with a looks like a stainless steel insert with a stainless steel frame. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guides on a 6 foot 7 inch rod. They are spaced correctly. I went over you can go online, you can pull up a guide spacing chart, and you can get an idea, but yes, they are spaced correctly. As I said, this is a very robust rod. It's a lot of fun to fish with, and at only $34.95, you're not going to break anybody buying this rod. For the money, it's a very good rod. It's a very good rod. I don't think you could go out and get a rod like this for $34.95 with a tip. That's the thing. This is fast. I mean, this is designed to twitch a trout magnet. Of course, I mean, you can fish this thing any way you want to, but that's what it's designed to do, is to twitch a trout magnet, and it does that very well. $34.95, and I think shipping on this rod is flat rate for $5.95, something like that. A good rod. I wouldn't hesitate to use it again. All of you know by now that I'm using all JDM fishing tackle, which is considerably different than this. But you can catch all the fish you want on this rod. And for $34.95, it's a great buy. So don't hesitate to go out and buy one. If I wasn't fishing JDM rods, I would probably have some of these rods. There's no doubt about it. Here is the bending curve on the Trout Magnet Sollux Series. Notice that the bending curve makes it down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, to the 5th guide down from the tip top. Fast action rod. Great for twitching a trout magnet. The other rod we're going to be reviewing today is the Trout Slayer Series. Now, this is a whole different animal. This rod is ultralight, rated from 1/64 to 1/8 ounce. That's a pretty big range on a rod. Both of these rods are rated at that. I don't think, I may be wrong, but I don't think you'll walk into a store and find a rod with that big a range on ratings. This rod has an extremely high graphite content. I don't know how high, I just know it's high. And the reason I say that, 6 foot 7 inch rod, weighs in at 2 5/8 ounce. I have a 6 foot 7 inch JDM area trout rod that weighs in at the exact same thing. So this rod is extremely sensitive. I have fished this rod. I field tested it. It's a strong rod. I was fishing the Caney Fork for crappie. Got into some buffalo that went 15 pounds. I mean, they got into a lot of them. I had this rod doubled up into a U, and it landed them just fine. Now, what you don't want to do with this rod, you don't want to be boat lifting fish with this rod. Graphite, what they do to it with resin to get it to bend is a miraculous thing. Because graphite by itself will snap in a heartbeat. But as Jeff Smith likes to say, and I go along with him, and I don't always do it, even on some of my more expensive rods, I don't do it. I don't boat lift fish, even a 4 ounce bluegill. I shouldn't be boat lifting. I shouldn't do it. But anyway, this rod in the hand, it's just like holding air. It's very lightweight. This rod also has, you can see on here, the new, I say new, they've been out for a couple of years now, the American Tackle Company microwave air guides, which these guides are made in the States. These are what we would call, they're not micro guides, they're semi-micro guides all the way up. All the running guides are the same size. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guides on this rod. Now, about this microwave air guide, you know, a lot of rod companies are using these. The only way to tell are you going to increase casting distance is to take this guide off on the same rod and put a normal stripper guide and see, do you lose casting distance. I have a feeling you would probably lose casting distance. I was outside casting this rod, practicing. I could throw a 1/32 ounce old style crappie magnet jig head with a Trout Magnet body on it. I could throw it 70 feet with this rod. All I can tell you is it casts like a dream. I mean, it casts effortlessly, and you don't get that line slap you do on a normal stripper guide. It's a good rod. It's a very good rod. For the money, which I think is, got it right here, it's $49.95 plus shipping, which it's a bargain. It is a true bargain. It has great sensitivity. This is what they call an SKS grip. It's similar to a Fuji style grip, although this is not a Fuji grip. You start getting Fuji components on the rod, you start sending the price up, way up. The rod is very well made. It holds up well. I would think that those of you who are on the fence about which rod to get, the $34.95 one or the $49.95 one, I would by far get this rod. It's just that much better. I mean, it's a whole lot. There's nothing wrong with this rod. Nothing wrong with the Slayer Series rod at all. I'm just saying, for less than, you know, $16, $15, whatever, you can. This rod is something that fishes really, really, really nice. It's really good. This is a bending curve on the Trout Slayer Series 6'7" ultralight rod. Look at where it starts to curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 6th guide from the tip top. Okay? But this, you can see this is a fast action rod. It's getting into the meat of the rod. The tip is fast. All right, we're going to show you one of the reasons that this rod shines so well. The tip diameter on this rod is 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter on the tip diameter. So if you were going to get a tip top for that, it'd have to be a 1 millimeter tip top, which is extremely small. That can really work a trout magnet. It's all in that tip right there. The butt on this rod is only, I have it at about 8.5 millimeters. It has the butt to handle larger fish. As I told you, with the buffalo we caught, and they were big buffalo. We had this thing doubled up. I mean, we had it doubled up into a U. And I thought it was going to snap, but it didn't snap. This rod I highly, highly recommend. I don't think you'll find anything else out there like it for $49.95. It's just that good a rod. Let's do the tip dimensions and butt dimensions on the Sollux Series rod. The tip dimensions on the Sollux Series, I'm getting at it right, probably it's probably 2 millimeter. So it's almost double the size of the tip on this rod. And the butt diameter on this rod, as close as we can get to the butt, because you can see this cork grip on the Sollux Series is for the whole length of the rod. This is old style, this is old school. This rod's been around a long time. The butt specs out at 9 millimeter. So with a bigger butt and all the cork and more resin in this rod, that makes up for the weight difference. This rod is 1.5 times the weight of, or a little bit more than the Trout Slayer rod. All right, folks, here's a bending curve using a 2 5/8 ounce dead weight on a Japanese area trout rod, light action, that cost approximately $270. Now I want you to look at where we start getting into the curve. It's curving even down here past the spigot. I mean, it's really got quite the curve. Folks, I want to talk to you a little bit about why I did a bending curve on this Japanese area trout rod. 6'7", same length as the Sollux Series. I want to show you the difference. This rod is not meant to fish a trout magnet for trout. This rod was designed to cast trout spoons. And it does that very well. It also catches bluegill very well. But it was never intended to fish a trout magnet or a micro jig, soft plastic, for trout. So, am I going to throw this rod away? No, sir. I love this rod. It's a fantastic rod. But if someone said, we're going wade fishing tomorrow, which I don't wade fish for trout like I used to. I have back issues. We're going to see about getting that fixed. But anyway, if I said we're going trout fishing tomorrow, that's what we're going to fish for, is trout. I would take this Trout Slayer Series rod in a microsecond. If they said you can only take your JDM area trout rod, or you can take the Trout Slayer rod. Now, I'd take the Trout Slayer rod. The reason being is because of the tip. It's much faster than the tip on an area trout rod. I've been down this road before. Years ago when I wade fish for trout, I used to do it 4 and 5 days a week. I mean, I was just eat up with it. That's all I did. I bought a Shimano Compre ultralight rod. Thought it was the greatest thing for trout there ever was, or would be the greatest thing for trout there ever was. Well, after I bought it, I found out it wasn't so good for fishing a trout magnet for trout. Now, I caught a lot of trout on it. Caught a lot of trout under the float on it. It was like a noodle. I found if I went out and caught 30 or 40 trout that day, I missed 80 or 90. The rod was just not fast enough. I mean, it was a high dollar rod, fantastic components, but it was not suitable for fishing the trout magnet using the twitch method for trout. So that's why I would pick the Trout Slayer Series to twitch a trout magnet over this JDM area trout rod. It's just not designed to twitch a trout magnet. So I wanted to explain that and why I showed you the bending curve. If you go back and you get a chance, go back and look at the start of the video again. Look at the bending curve on this rod. I mean, this thing is bent. I need a total white background there. I did the best I can with the door and the blind shut and so on and so forth. But if you look at the bending curve on this Japanese domestic market trout rod. I mean, it's bent. It's really bent. Look at the bending curve on these two rods. Matter of fact, the Sollux Series rod has a faster tip, meaning stiffer, than the Trout Slayer Series. But the Trout Slayer Series still has a fast tip, and it would be my rod of preference simply because sensitivity is off the charts, and I'm all about sensitivity. I'm all about lightweight. But as I said, you're not going to go wrong with either one of these rods. We all have a budget. Everybody's got a budget. And if your budget only calls for $34.95, then that's the rod you should buy. Because you're not going to find a better $34.95 rod for twitching the trout magnet than this. If your budget can withstand the higher price of the Trout Slayer Series, I highly suggest you go with it. Same applies there. You're not going to find a better rod for the money than what that Trout Slayer Series rod cost. So if you're looking for a rod to really work the trout magnet on trout in a twitching type situation, both these rods are great at that. That's what they're designed to do. This rod though, the Trout Slayer, to me, is the one I would pick if I had to pick one of them. You're not going to go wrong with either rod, but this rod right here, split grip, it's just like having a feather in the hand. It's just that light. It's just that light. When I first saw this rod when it came out, I was really impressed. Jeff had said they were going to make a new rod. I had no clue what they were coming out with, and this is it. This is it. Cast like a dream, sensitivity off the charts. A good rod to have in your arsenal if you're fishing a trout magnet. So, in all my videos, as I like to say, sort of them all, and remember, life is good.